It's coming. Man, I can feel it. That feeling I get that makes me slow down before I see the speed trap. The hunches I get when I'm working with electrical. I can feel the shit. The big banks, they have got a lot of interest for this, for Bitcoins and other cryptos, and I can see their fingerprints on this chart. You can see the pullback, and you can see these sudden sharp jumps. The hedge funds, they are getting tired of trying to buy on the OTC markets, and I think some of them are starting to dip their fingers into the main exchanges. And I don't think it's going to happen for a couple of months. But man, they're just freaking salivating to get their hands on this shit. And it's kind of hard to explain. It's like listening to voices in another room. I don't really go into this sort of thing. It's not really part of my MGTOW channel, but there is more to me than meets the eye. So all I can say, just sock away every single Bitcoin you can get your hands on while you still can, because this shit's gonna explode later this year, and it's gonna be freaking amazing. That's all. And just like that, it's gone. It's like a little window opening up and then closing again, and suddenly everything seems normal again. It's one of the weird things about being me. And here's another weird thing. Basically, it's easier to see over a black background like this. But basically, that's what I see when I look at my hand. Either I need glasses really badly, or there's something strange going on. This has been the way it's been for decades. I mean, you can look at it in a certain way, and that's what you see. But if you do normal day-to-day life, everything looks perfectly normal. It's pretty bizarre. In any case, that feeling that I had a while ago, and it's gone now, is one of the things that made me so desperate to get into Bitcoins in the first place. I mean, it's like I saw the potential of it, and I intellectually, understood what we were seeing, what I was seeing, but that impetus, that real drive to get into this thing, it just hit me like an avalanche, and it's like very similar to what I was feeling a little while ago, and it's kind of hard to explain, but that is the reason why, since late 2013, early 2014, I've been basically buying every single Bitcoin I could get my hands on, and just throttling my spending back. I've even worked overtime a few times so I could, get more Bitcoins. And I was desperate to get as many as I could because I knew that those $200 Bitcoins would not last. I mean, I was like up against the deadline, and I could just feel that giant surge coming. The surge that took us over $10,000. And I knew that once that happened, my ability to sock away like 6 or 7 Bitcoins in a month, it would be like gone. And it is gone. And so, it's kind of strange. I'm a very material kind of guy. I'm a heavy diesel truck mechanic, but I'm also very intuitive. And I guess there's pros and cons to that. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Vention is a weird guy. I hope this isn't too disappointing for you guys. Still got that cold a little bit. Missed another day of work today, duh. But I think over the next couple days, my normal days off, I will finish recovering and get this thing out of the way. Man, I've lost some weight. Being sick is a heck of a weight loss method. I mean, it's not pleasant, but it sure works. But back to a MGTOW subject. I was just, the other day I was watching one of JSnep4's videos, and he was talking about how his wife wants him, he was saying that his wife wanted him to sell his crypto so they could pay off the house. And I was like absolutely mortified by that. It's like, no way. But it later came out that she didn't want him to actually sell the cryptos now. She was like retroactively saying that she wanted him to sell the Bitcoins or the crypto when Bitcoin was back at $19,000, right? But I'm not sure. That's all hearsay. But I basically had to throw in a little bit of a little bit of red pill into this, and that was my observations on how men and women are different when it comes to increasing their wealth, basically. And man, did I piss off a couple of feminists in this freaking news group. It's funny as fuck. But anyway, I was saying men and women have different methods for increasing their wealth. And I basically said men nobly work hard and smart and gain wealth over decades, right? And women ass lodge the man out of the family and trade him in for a new guy. Needless to say, that pissed off a lot of women. And then I had a lot of them really going at me. But I mean, these women here are only mildly insane. They aren't like the real serious blue-haired freaking freaks that we run into a lot of the times. These are actual women who are into crypto and perhaps, things like permaculture and silver stacking and libertarian, that sort of thing. But one of them is a severe freaking feminist, and she's actually a school teacher, which is among the worst of them out there. Like Yovan Nutter is the one, and she was saying, so that's what MGTOW means. Effing assholes. Oh, it gives me a warm feeling in my heart when I trigger them to such rage. And then of course I had to like really rub it in, which is like tremendously satisfying. Let me see if I can find that comment. Here, let me pause this for a second. Ah, here it is. I'm actually quite proud of this. You see, I was responding to one of the guys who said, "Holy crap, bro, you really stirred up the hornet's nest." And I said, "What? This?" This is only a mild disturbance. Even this Yvonne chick is only mildly insane compared to most women I've educated over the years. Things really get vigorous when you're dealing with the serious man-hating, blue-haired, totalitarian, socialist, feminist lesbo types. And the older they get, the more angry they become. When you deal with them, you're fighting pure indoctrination with absolutely zero self-awareness. It takes a while to beat them down enough to the point where they get momentary flashes of an actual self-aware reasoning mind, and basically, and those are the ones that are the most fun to interact with. This part here is where I'm really proud. Their hate is so venomous, so basic, so powerful, and so primal that it's like a mini natural disaster. Their hate is so pure and so powerful that in a strange way it feels almost like love. and I do get a little bit of that. And although I was doing this particularly to piss off this Yvonne chick, but anyway, that was something that I was particularly proud of. You see, a lot of the times when you deal with these, serious blue-haired, rabid, man-hating feminists, right? And they're just like having this tremendous volcano of freaking rage, right? That's just blasting out, and they're just shooting that hate at you, right? And this is the weird thing, right? Maybe it's something that's sort of unusual or strange about me, might have something to do with all of this shit, right? But basically, when you can feel that tremendous hate coming from them, right, it becomes an emotional connection. And that connection, in a way, it can feel almost like love. You see, that hate, the opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference, as many MGTOW are much aware of, right? But hate is like an emotional connection, and I don't know, maybe it's better than nothing. So, in any case, I just found that to be an amusing little quirk. Okay, and then I said, and when it blows over, everything is fresh, like after a big thunderstorm, and then after they've tired themselves out, and you get that momentary flash of an actual reasoning mind, that's when they're ready for you to throw them a rescue line. That's when they're ready to listen to stats and divorce rate and what happens to men in divorce, and gain a bit of understanding of why men are walking away in such great numbers these days. And once they gain a bit of understanding of the situation, they can use this information to build better, healthier, less self-sabotaging lives for themselves, and even build a family and a future if that's what they want. It's a real honor. I laid it on really thick. Excuse me. It's a real honor when I manage to help some of these insane feminazi types to reevaluate the life path that they've been indoctrinated into, and shut off the feminist autopilot that's been steering them into a life of lonely, desolate oblivion that ends with them getting eaten by their cats. So, yeah, I just thought I'd share that, because I knew that this woman who was just focusing all that hate on me, I knew that she would read this and she would feel an even greater emotional connection. Now, either it's kind of strange. Either everybody feels like this, or there is something weird about me. So, I just thought I'd share that little momentary bit of loveliness, and I'll leave a link to Jay Snip's video that he was mentioning all this stuff in, and if you want to join in on take a peek at this comments section, you might find it as amusing as I do. I one post, and I got like 47 replies. I do love it when you can toss out something like that, and man, the feminists just go freaking insane. And I was also talking to this lady on this chat, that Yvonne chick, and I was explaining to her that the reason why you feel this much rage is because you've never been able to hear this information in the past. You probably work, and I wasn't aware that she was a school teacher at the time, but that would be just an absolute feminist totalitarian nightmare. The only way you could survive as a male there is if you were somebody with Stockholm syndrome, and you would be like a man who was like a tremendous freaking feminist cuck, a complete mangina, like that guy on jury duty who was willing to fry that guy who was the victim of domestic violence by his crackhead freaking meth head girlfriend. He was willing, just like all the vaginas on that freaking jury, they were just gonna fry his ass and send him to friggin' federal prison for like 20 years or something. And me and one other mechanic, we stopped it. We dug our freaking heels in, and we were not gonna let that guy get railroaded into that freaking federal prison. He and I stopped it. So man, if you guys ever are summoned to jury duty, man, I couldn't stress more that there's a good chance that you might run into a situation like that, and you might be able to save a good man from getting freaking steamrolled. So I will never ever refuse jury duty. Not at all. Never. I don't care if I have to cancel an expensive vacation somewhere. I am not going to refuse jury duty. But anyway, she was mentioning that she was a school teacher, and now what the heck was I saying to her? Oh, yes. I was saying that you probably work in a corporate environment where a man, if he says anything about how his friends or he got railroaded by his wife in the family court system, he would anger you, and then you'd call HR and get his ass fired. And that causes a tremendous chilling effect in discussion of these issues. So the result is you've never heard it before, and that has allowed the problem to get vastly worse, and now it's biting you in the ass. So basically, I thought I'd just throw that out there. That was a lot of fun. So other than that, same old thing happening. I'm starting to recover. I'm lost about probably 5 or 6 pounds from this illness, but I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm a little tanned because I've made sure that I've gotten outside and laid in the sun for like 15 minutes on each side whenever there was sun out there, because that's good for a cold like that. Okay guys, that's about all I got for you, and don't get married.